quotient rule. Yeah. So this top thing, that's our u. This bottom thing, that's our v. We'll put v squared all in the bottom. It's going to be this thing all squared. Okay, x squared squared minus 1 squared. So that's going to be plus 1. And then minus 1 times x squared, but double that. So minus 2x squared. Batman. Okay, now we've got v u prime and then u v prime, but it's important to get that in the right direction because there's a minus sign, not like product rule. So what's our v? V is x squared minus 1. So we'll put in the x squared minus 1, put that in parentheses. And then u prime, that's going to be 3. Instead of putting it after, I'll put it before. So that's my u prime v minus u v prime. So let's put the v prime first. So v prime u. So let's put it in that direction. V prime is, there's v, so that's 2x. And multiply that by u. And where's u? U is 3x plus 1. Calculus complete. Now let's do a little bit of algebra. Let's see, equals, all that's over x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 1. And what do we got on top here? 3x squared minus 3 minus 6x squared minus 2x. Okay, and then this on top, we'll simplify that somewhat to minus 3x squared minus 2x minus 3. That's a bunch of minuses. So let's just do this. X to the 4th minus 2x squared. I'm going to skip the dx, d by dx. I'm just going to do a little bit of what I like to call pre-processing here. X squared minus 1. Okay, and that equals, I'm going to factor out the bottom bit. So x plus 1, x minus 1, and just 3x plus 1 on top. Okay, and I'm going to make that equal to, so I'm just going to say a up here and b over here. And there's a whole lot more. I mean, this is an example. There's a whole lot more to partial fractions, but I thought I'd start with an example that goes into it in depth in the textbook. We've got x plus 1 here, x minus 1 here. And so now we need to figure out what a and b are. All right, so how do we do that? Well, let's take a look here. We know if we were to add these together, we'd have to have that common denominator. So we'd have x plus 1 down here times the common denominator is just going to be the product, which is going to end up being x squared minus 1. So this a has to be multiplied by x minus 1 for this to work. Okay, plus b all over x minus 1. But we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by x plus 1 for this to work. X plus 1. All right, so what does this end up being? Well, this ends up being ax minus a, and this ends up being bx plus b. Ax minus a all over all of this business. X plus 1, x minus 1. And then look at this. I can do this because we're adding it together, right? Plus bx plus b, and it's all over. Remember, what did all this equal to? All that equaled 3x plus 1 over, and then remember, we multiply that out. It's just x squared. I don't even need the parentheses. X squared minus 1. Okay, so let's rearrange this. The ax plus bx, that is going to be your 3x. And your minus a, I'm going to leave the minus here so the a's are above each other. The minus a plus b, that's going to be the 1. So we'll put there 1. Okay. Now let's cancel out these x's. So what we have is a plus b. A plus b equals 3, negative a plus b equals 1. So let's just sum up these two equations. 3 plus 1 is 4. The a's cancel out, okay? And so we end up with 2b equals 4. So b equals 2, which means that then a has to equal 1, okay? A equals 1. Now let's rewrite this expression, our original expression, and I'll write it again here so we can see it, okay? And remember, we've just broken this up into partial fractions. So we've got 3x plus 1 equals x squared minus 1 equals, and then remember we had a over x plus 1 plus b over x minus 1. That was, replace a and b with their appropriate things. So we got 1 over x plus 1, and then b is 2. So now let's find the derivative of these things, okay? So remember, we're actually interested in d by dx of all that. So that's going to be d by dx of this plus d by dx of this. Okay, so again, quotient rule, v prime u, I'm doing this even without looking. I look over here, minus u prime v, I think, over v squared. Oh, yikes, I should remember this. Okay, so top is u and bottom is v. All right, so now v squared. So I'm going to square, for this first one, I'm going to square the bottom. So that's going to be x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, and then now I need v times u. Okay, well, what's u? Well, u is just 1. Sorry, v prime times u. So what's v prime? Well, that's the derivative of x plus 1 is just 1. Okay, and then that's going to be times u, which is, I'll put the 1 here. So we got v prime times u minus u prime times v. So u prime is, well, that's just going to be 0. 0 times x plus 1. So this partial fraction, when we take its derivative, it ends up being the reciprocal of, or 1 over x squared plus 2x minus 1. And then now we've got this one that we've got to do. So that's going to again be v squared down on the bottom is going to be x squared plus 1 minus 2x. Okay, and then up here we've got v prime. Well, that's just going to be 1 times u. Okay, this time it's times 2. Okay, this is going to be plus. Okay, minus, what is it? U prime? Well, again, we just got 0 times 1. Okay, so the u prime is nuts. It's easy because it's it's just a constant. So we end up with 1. Okay, plus that should be a plus 1. And that should be a plus 1. And this should be 2. And this, I believe, is your whole derivative. Okay, so we've got 1 over x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, minus, it just feels different from when I checked this earlier, plus 2 over x squared minus 2x plus 1. Oops. Okay, that looks okay. All right, so this is what my partial fractions thing looks like, my solution that I got for the derivative by partial fractions. Now, I've got a different form of a solution, minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 3, and divided by x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 1. X to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 1. Ah! Yeah, I thought that there was something about a minus sign that I messed up here. What happened if I take away this minus sign? Yeah, okay. So one of these is right, and one of them is wrong. I'm having a great day. I love Desmos just for checking these things. And what do we got here? On top, I've got 3x plus 1 over x squared minus 1. Okay, so there you go. So it's actually this one. This one was right. The blue one. So this one without the negative sign, with the negative sign is correct. V prime U, U prime V, that should be VU prime, UV prime. And so because of that, I have got the sign reversed up here. And so that is going to reverse the sign of my final solution. So that should be plus, that should be minus, that's negative, and that's negative. And so we get a negative solution. I'm going to go have dinner or something.